Hi everyone. In this video, we will see how to create serverless CRUD application using AWS services like DynamoDB, Lambda functions, API gateway, and CloudFront CDN. This is the architecture diagram of our application, where our data will be stored in DynamoDB, and for CRUD operations, these Lambda functions will be used, and these Lambda functions will be exposed using HTTP API gateway. Also, this API gateway will be protected using AWS Cognito. And then at this side, we have this CloudFront CDN, which exposes API gateway and also exposes our React application, which is also configured with Cognito. And at this side, we have the user. Here, we are creating serverless application for a coffee shop owner. They can use it to manage their inventory. So we can sign in using registered email, and here is list of available coffees. If there is some new coffee, then we can add it like this with unique ID and some name and price, also if it's available or not. So once coffee is added, it will be visible here. And if we click on one of these cards, then it will navigate to this route where more information can be shown regarding that particular coffee, and information can be edited also. ID is unique for each coffee, so it's not editable, but name and price can be edited. Availability is also editable. And finally, we can delete coffee. So now that coffee is deleted and we are seeing only 3 coffee here. Now let's go ahead and create these AWS resources. For creating these resources, we will not utilize any framework. Instead, we will create manually in the AWS console to get better understanding. Also, code for all Lambda function and IAM policies are available under this repo, and I will keep telling where to use which code. So let's start with DynamoDB first, then we will create Lambda and API gateway. Head over to AWS console and search DynamoDB. Go to tables and create new table. So DynamoDB is a NoSQL database from AWS. It's fully managed, and we need to pass table name. So let's call coffee shop, and then partition key. So partition key is like primary key. For us, it will be coffee ID. So each coffee will have unique identifiable coffee ID, and it will be string. Short key we don't need. Everything else leave default and create table. Once table is created, click on it and click on explore items, then create item. So let's go and add some random coffee here. Let's add coffee price, coffee availability, and coffee name also. So string name, price, this price will be number, and name, let's call it menu coffee, available, and create item. So now we have one dummy item. When we will call DynamoDB, we will get some value. So it will help us to understand that we are able to connect to DynamoDB. That's why we created it here. Coming to architecture diagram, we have DynamoDB table ready. Now this Lambda function will talk to DynamoDB with the help of IAM role that will be attached to them. So let's go and create one IAM role, and we will use same IAM role for all Lambda functions. However, it is also possible that for get create one role create one role and assign only necessary permission to each function. That way also it can be done. But for now, let's create a generic role as here we specify permissions. So I will add Lambda basic execution role. This one. And here we can see that this policy allows to create CloudWatch logs. Next, give it name as coffee shop role. So now we have role with necessary permission to create CloudWatch logs, but we need to add more permissions so that it can talk to DynamoDB. So right now we have added AWS managed policy. Now we will create one inline policy which is available only for this IAM role. And here service is Lambda. Okay, no, I mean service is DynamoDB. Let's delete it and select again. Service is DynamoDB, and what action we want? We want get, put, update, delete, and scan table. So these are the permissions which we want. Let's select. Let's search and then select them. So scan, get item, put item, then delete and update. And we want a specific table. Means we are adding these permissions for this particular table. So let's copy ARN of coffee shop table and use it here. Policy name, let's call it DynamoDB. Now if I expand, here we have these 5 actions allowed for this DynamoDB table and CloudWatch role, CloudWatch policies. Now we are ready to create Lambda functions. So I will open Lambda and create function. So Lambda is function as a service from AWS. It is triggered based on some events. Event can be AWS event like some file is uploaded to S3 bucket, or it can even be API event that Lambda can be invoked by some API call. So in our case, API gateway will invoke Lambda function. First of all, we will create Lambda function to get items from DynamoDB table. So let's call it get coffee, and runtime will be Node.js 22, which is latest. Architecture, let's choose ARM64 because it uses Graviton instances in the background and it gives more value for money. Coming to permission, no need to select a new role, create new role. We can use existing role, and its role name is coffee shop role, which we just created. Everything else we can leave default and create function. So this is default code of Lambda function, where it just returns hello from Lambda. And if we see the folder structure, here we have index.yamjs, and its yamjs file means it's using ECMAScript script, means to import dependencies it will use import instead of require. And in index.yamjs we can see that we have this handler function. So if I scroll down, and in handler configuration we can see that default handler is index.handler, means in index file called handler function. So if we rename our function to something else like get coffee, we must modify this to index.getCoffee. Now let's run this default Lambda function. So I will click on test and create one dummy test with without any event. So whatever value I pass it will come as event. I will leave it empty object and run the test. So here we can see that Lambda function is running properly, and we are able to see the hello from Lambda. Now let's connect this Lambda function to our DynamoDB table. And for that, we will use DynamoDB SDK, DynamoDB JavaScript SDK. But to use JavaScript SDK, we can't just import libraries here, because for that we need to install those dependencies and create node modules folder, which is not possible here. What we can do, we can create node modules folder in VS Code and then create zip file and upload as zip in this Lambda function. So let's head over to Visual Studio and create one folder named Lambda, and then again one more folder inside that. Let's call it Git. Then navigate to that folder, so Lambda and then Git. There we will initialize npm. Everything I will leave default, and then in package.json, since we are going to use ECMAScript, there are two ways. Either we can create a new file as index.mjs, or here also we can add type as module. So one of these we can do, and that would be sufficient. One more thing, for all functions, code is available both in CommonJS and ECMAScript. So if you want to use CommonJS, there is a folder called CommonJS, and everything is available as CommonJS. But for the sake of this tutorial, we will use ECMAScript. Now let's go to Google and search DynamoDB JS SDK version 3, and here we are seeing two links. One is for DynamoDB client and one is for this documentation. And here, if we scroll down, we will see code for get item. Just copy it and paste here. Another link we will see in some time what is use of that. For now, let's start editing here. So first we need to install these dependencies. I will do npm I client DynamoDB and leave DynamoDB. After that, till it's installing dependencies, let's correct our table name. So for us, it's coffee shop. And key, we need to pass our partition key. So in our case, partition key is coffee ID, and our ID is the item which we created. So for that we need ID. So ID is C123, and here, just for sake of testing, to make sure that Lambda function is indeed able to connect to DynamoDB, we are hard coding things here, but in actual API calls we will take this value from event. So event will come here. I guess this is sufficient. I will save it, and now we need to create zip file. So make sure to install zip utility and then run zip -r and name of the file, name of zip file, whatever you want to create. So get.zip I will create, and then for this folder I want all files. It will zip node modules and index.mjs and package.json. Now zip is ready. Let's go to Lambda function and upload our zip file and then upload it. Let's test it, and it will fail first time because I forgot to update the handler. It's calling index.handler, but it should call index.getCoffee. Okay, in this case index.main. Edit. Let's rename it to getCoffee only. I will update here as well. So export cons index getCoffee, and I will update here also because dependencies are already uploaded, and until I do not need any dependency, I can just keep updating here. But make sure to keep VS Code and this editor in sync. Deploy and then test. This time I got 200 response from DynamoDB, and I am able to see the coffee which I added. Now let's go back to code, and here you might be wondering why we are importing two DynamoDB libraries. So there are two libraries. One is client DynamoDB and another is live DynamoDB. This client DynamoDB is low level SDK, and this one is high level. And why we are not using client DynamoDB here is that it expects both input to the functions of library, and outputs both are in DynamoDB JSON format. And then we need to utilize one extra library, DynamoDB utils, to marshal and unmarshal the input and output. So let's see how it is done in client DynamoDB. So we will do same get command, but in client DynamoDB. So this is the documentation for client DynamoDB. And to get item, here we have get item command, and it works something like this. So whatever value we pass, we need to specify what is the format of it. So if we see our code, if we use get item command from client DynamoDB library, then we have to specify coffee ID will be string, and then we have to pass its value. So for example, if I go to Lambda functions, get, and here I have one example. I will copy it and paste it here. So yeah, it will look something like this. We can import get item command from client DynamoDB library, and coffee ID will be passed like this. But when we will pass partition key, we have to specify that it's a string, and coffee ID will be C123. Since library is already installed, we can directly make change here and deploy it. Now run test. Access denied. Get coffee is not authorized to perform. Okay, I forgot to edit table name. Let's run again. Looks like it's not deployed properly. Now let's run again. Yeah. So if we see output here, output is also a bit different as compared to last time. Here we can see that for each attribute, we are also getting its type. So to convert this DynamoDB JSON format to normal JSON, we have to use Dynamo utils library, which provides two functions, marshal and unmarshal, like something like this. So to avoid all this, we are sticking with functions from libDynamoDB because it makes our life easier by eliminating need of using marshal and unmarshal. We will use client DynamoDB just to import this DynamoDB client and construct talk client. So throughout the tutorial, we will use get scan, put scan, etc. from libDynamoDB, and from client DynamoDB, we will only import DynamoDB client to construct our DynamoDB client. Now let's make some necessary changes to make this function ready for get API and then connect to API gateway. So what we want is that if someone requests /coffee route, then return list of all coffees. However, if someone asks /coffee /C123, then give detail of only C123 coffee. So this will be coffee ID like this. And for getting detail of coffee ID, we are using get command. For getting all coffee, we will use scan command. So let's import scan command as well. And then I will copy paste code from GitHub, and then we will just see it line by line. Till here it will remain same. We have table name. So table name, either we will provide an environment variable of Lambda, or let's put correct name here as well. So coffee shop, and this is create response function. We will come to it later. In get coffee function, we are reading path parameter from event. So when we connect Lambda function to API gateway, this path parameter is available, and from path parameter we can take coffee ID, and if coffee ID is available, then we will use get command, else we will use scan command. In either case, we will call DynamoDB and return the response. For returning both 200 and 500 response, we will use create response function, and it's just putting things in proper way, like status code, adding header, and stringifying JSON to put in the body. Let's save and upload it. Again, I will run zip command, and then go back to DynamoDB, and I will go back to Lambda and upload it. Okay, now let's open API gateway and create HTTP API gateway. So create API, HTTP API, and name, let's give it coffee shop. Everything I will leave default for now. No need to add anything. Stays will be default, and it will auto deploy. So if we make some change, it will auto deploy without manually deploying. Routes. So let's create first route as get route, and it's /coffee. Another route that we want is /coffee /coffee ID, and this ID will go to path parameters. Okay, one thing I made here, it should be get call, not any. Now for both these two routes, we need to create one integration and attach it. Go to manage integration and create integration. Integration is Lambda function. Select region and select Lambda function. So it's get coffee function. Now this is the important step. Make sure to keep this grant API permission to invoke your Lambda function as enabled. What it will do, in my Lambda function, if I go to configuration and then permissions and then resource based policy statement. So by enabling this radio button, we will make sure that API gateway have permission to invoke the Lambda function. Like we made sure that Lambda function can invoke DynamoDB with the help of IAM role. Same thing here we are doing, but with the help of resource policy of Lambda. So we will see how it will work. I will create. I have to choose one route. So let's choose coffee route. And changes are done. Now if I refresh here, I can see new resource based policy is here, and it just allowed that particular API gateway to use our Lambda function. Now let's go to API, and here I can see my URL for default stage. Open it. Default root URL will say not found, but if I enter /coffee, I should see all coffees from my Lambda function, from my DynamoDB. I will change it to raw data, and we are able to see. Now let's suppose if I pass here C123, then it will not give anything. For that, we need to go routes, and here also we need to attach same integration or same Lambda function, attach integration, and get coffee integration. Same integration I can attach here also, because same Lambda function we want to call. Now if I hit enter, here I'm getting detail for that particular coffee only. So this is for get function or get route. Now let's go and create post route or create coffee route. So for that, I will create function name create coffee, and role I will select same role which we created, coffee shop role. Create function. In handler, edit and make it index dot create coffee. Make sure to copy it and save. Now let's go back to our VS Code and create new folder in the Lambda folder and call it post. Inside post, again we need to do npm init. So npm init, everything I will enter default, and then create index.mjs. Also let's install Lambda dependencies. So copy paste this, and now let's go back to documentation. Here I will go to put item, and input item I will copy it, paste it here. So similar to get item, input item, we are again importing DynamoDB client from client DynamoDB, and put command from libdynamodb, and we have to pass table name and what item we are at. I will copy code from GitHub for listing now and paste it here. And this is the code. There also we are creating DynamoDB client, and then we are taking body from event. In body, we will have data regarding coffee, and from that body, we are extracting coffee ID, name, price, and availability. And then I'm logging it for checking in CloudWatch. There was some error, so I added it. After that, if one of them is missing, then we will return that some attribute is missing. And if everything is available, then we will use put command and pass table name and item. Also, we will pass conditional expression that create this attribute or create this coffee if this coffee ID already do not exist. And then if it created successfully, return it, else return the error. So let's zip it. And upload it. Now go to API gateway and routes, create new route. it should be post route, and data should be posted to /coffee route and create it. Now for post route also we need to create one integration. So select post route. Either we create integration from here, or from here also we can attach integration and then create and attach integration. Lambda function. This time it will be create Lambda function. Make sure to keep it enabled and create it. Now we have Lambda function uploaded and route created. Let's open Postman and test the route. Here I will copy from here to here, paste it here, and for body, make it raw and paste coffee ID, name, price, and availability. This time let's pass ID as something. Let's call C4567 and change this to post and send. Here we got item created successfully and status code as 200. And from our Lambda function, status code is 201. This response is from DynamoDB. Now if I again try to create same coffee, then it will give me some error. It says item already exists because we have added conditional expression as attribute should not exist. So now both get and create are done. Let's create another function for update. Let's call it update coffee. Select R and role for function. Change handler to index.update coffee and come back to VS Code, create update folder and initialize npm here, and then just enter. Also install dependencies. Now you might be wondering that every time for each folder we are installing same dependencies. So we will see how we can avoid it using Lambda layer. But first let's create all function. So index.js, and again go to documentation, and here we have syntax for update item, and here we have to pass table name, key for which we want to update, means coffee ID for us, and then this time we have to pass update expression, means what items or what attributes we want to update for that item, and return value all new means it will return all values as updated. So if earlier coffee name was hot and then we made it cold, then return value will be cold. Let's copy the code for this function and go through it to understand. So similar to other functions, here also we are importing document DynamoDB library and using it. Let's call this table as coffee shop, and in update function we are reading path parameter, and from path parameter we are reading ID. So it will be like /coffee ID for which coffee we want to update, and if that coffee itself is not passed, then we will return 400 error. If coffee ID is available, then we will read the body to check name, price, and availability, and either one value can be updated or any combination can be updated, means at least one value must be passed it's not necessary to update all at once. If you want, you can update only price and do not touch these two. So if nothing is updated, then again return 400. However, if there is at least one value which is available in body, then we will use this expression. This will dynamically create update expression based on what values are available. So what I can do, I can create one function like touch to show it what exactly we are doing in update expression. We have something like this. We will have data from our application, React application or Postman, and then we are reading name, price, and availability from data, and then we are constructing this update expression. So if I run this, so if everything is coming from Frontend or Postman, then update expression will be like this: update expression set name, price, update. Name, price, and available. We want to update all three. However, suppose situation where only these two are available, then our update expression will become something like this. See, available is removed here. Only name and price are included. Similarly, if there is only one item, let's say only available, then it will just contain that I want to update expression and it should be only available. Now we know what is update expression. Coming to construction of command, we are passing table name, our coffee ID, which we read from URL, and then in update expression, we are passing update expression. And then there is something called expression attribute names. So expression attribute names is used for those attributes which are already reserved by DynamoDB. So its name is reserved keyword, and we can't use it like this. If I do price here, then it will like I can use price here, but I can't use name like this. So for that, I need to specify hash name, and then here I need to tell what exactly hash name means. Then also I'm not directly putting it here, I'm putting it inside name, and then so if name is available as part of body, only then this expression attribute will become part of this bigger object, else it will not come here. And then expression attribute values. So here I am conditionally putting all values, like if name is here, then put this. If price is here, then put price inside this object. It's similar to update expression. So in update expression, we were conditionally putting like this. Here also we are putting these objects conditionally. And then return all new. And then condition expression is attribute exists. So if I do not put here, then if coffee ID do not exist, then also that coffee ID will be created. So this condition expression makes sure that this object is updated only if that particular coffee ID exists, else it will not be updated. Let's save it and create zip. Let's upload the zip file. Also, let's create new route. This time it's put route, and it will be /coffee /ID. Attach integration. Put route, attach integration, create attach lambda, and then update coffee function, invoke permissions, and create. Now let's modify here only. So if I make it get, I will copy it first of all. So here we have two coffee available, and I will edit this one, which is C4567. So what I need to do, I need to pass /coffee/coffee ID. So it's 4, 5, 6, 7, and in body coffee ID is not required. So I will remove coffee ID, and in name let's call it hot coffee, and change this to put send. It says object does not exist. Let's see again. If I refresh, I guess I passed wrong ID. It's C4567, and looks like here I passed C in small case. Yeah, now it updated, and here it's returning latest value or updated value. So now we are done with get, put, post. Now let's create function for delete also. Similar to last time, select the role and create function for delete item. So for delete item, we just need to pass the table name and coffee ID. Here in Lambda, I will create delete. Oh, I forgot to update Lambda function handler. It should be delete coffee, else it will throw error that can't find index.handler. Or let's intentionally keep it wrong in case you forget to edit it. How you can see the logs? Let's see. So I will inside delete install dependencies and create index.mjs file. Go to GitHub and copy code from Lambda functions, delete index.mjs and copy paste it here. Again, I'm correcting everywhere because we are not putting in environment variable. And here in delete coffee, we are reading coffee ID. If coffee ID is not present, then return error. If it's present, we are just putting this coffee ID in delete command. Also, this time we are passing condition expression as attribute, means this coffee ID must exist to be deleted, and also it should return what values it deleted. Let's save and upload it. And also let's create route for it. So go to routes, create route. This time it should be delete route and a coffee ID, and create it. Attach integration. I guess I selected wrong one. Delete, attach integration, and create integration. Delete coffee function, create it. Let's go to Postman and change it to delete. Body should be none, and send the command. Here we are seeing message as internal server error. And now we know why we are seeing internal server error, but let's see in case you see this error for some other function, how to debug it. So you can go to monitor and then you can go to view CloudWatch logs. Since we added permission for CloudWatch logs, this function will create logs here. Also, if you want, you can directly open CloudWatch log and come to log groups. Under log groups, you should be able to see your functions log. So here I'm able to see execution log. If I click it, here it's saying that runtime handler not found, which is index.handler is undefined. So similarly, if you are also facing some problem with any function, you can check in the CloudWatch log. For now, I know what is the issue, so I will correct it. And now if I try to delete it, again I'm seeing internal server error. Let's go and explore why it is saying this. So again, go to CloudWatch, go one step above, refresh it. I can see new log, time is also here. It says can't see delete handler. Okay, I guess I added wrong name. It should be delete coffee and save. Now if I hit it, it should be deleted. Yeah, it got deleted and also it returned what values it deleted. Now if I go to get route, here we should see only one coffee, which is C123, which we created initially. Now we have all the routes available and all are exposed by API gateway, and these all Lambda functions are able to talk to DynamoDB. Now what problem which we are seeing at this point is that all Lambda functions are using same dependency, but for each function we have to maintain separate node modules folder and separate package.json files. So to fix that, we can use Lambda layer. So that layer will contain all dependencies and this Lambda function will contain code only. It allows to share dependencies. Suppose you have 4 Lambda functions and dependencies are being maintained at 4 places. If after some time you have to update dependency at one place, you have to go and update your DynamoDB SDK version at every place. So that will be headache. Another problem it solves is that if you have some function, so if I show the code, in all index.js, we can see that we have this create response function, which we are just copy pasting everywhere. So some utility function like this can be just put in the Lambda layer and used from there. And how we can use Lambda layer, let's see. So first of all, we create Lambda layer. Let's create new folder and call it Lambda with layer. And then create one folder called Lambda. We will put our Lambda functions here and create another function, another folder with name Node.js, and make sure, okay, it got created at wrong place, but it should be at this level, and make sure that this folder name must be Node.js only. Other names will not be accepted. In Node.js folder, let's initialize npm. So I will go to cd and then Lambda with layers and then Node.js npm init. Similar to last time, here also install the dependency and then create a file named util. So this folder is not needed now. Now we need this layers folder, and here in layer folder we have node.js, and in node.js we have utils.mjs. Let's copy the code, and in node.js here also let's create utils.mjs, paste it. Now if I compare it with our previous Lambda functions which we created, in each function we have these dependencies imported. We are creating this doc client everywhere, and also we are creating this create response function everywhere. So same thing is just put here. In this function we are now creating doc client, and create a response function is pasted here. Also each function was using this command, delete command, get command, put command. So those commands are just imported from library and then exported as it is. Now we can create Lambda functions without dependencies. So let's create get index.mjs and go to Lambda function with layer, get index.mjs, copy the code and paste it. So this time no dependency is required, just import from the layer which is under opt node.js utils.mjs. And if you are using ECMAScript, make sure to add .mjs here, else it will give error. And that's it. Now let's create for get, post, and then update. I guess it was not post, it was create, update, and one more for delete. In all folder, we just need now index.mjs. Here also I need index.mjs. One more. And I will just copy paste the code, and it's same code which we used last time, just without dependencies. So I guess name for this was post only. Paste. Similarly for delete also. Paste and update also. Okay. Now we have all dependencies here and our logic in this folder. Now I have created a script. We can do this manually also, but let's use this. So it's create chip.sh, and what it will do, it will just go to individual folders and create zip for us. Also name of this folder must be this thing. Okay, now let's run it. So I will go to one level above and create chip. It says cannot display, delete.chip, nothing to do, no creating chip for post function. Looks like something is wrong. Okay, here this thing should be mjs, 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 and mjs. Now I already have zip for this node.js, so I will comment it and now quickly create for zip. Now we have 5 zip here: delete, get, post, and update, and this layer.zip contains code of this node.js folder. Let's go to Lambda and select layers. Right now we have 0 layers. Let's create one layer and call it DynamoDB layer. Here we can pass any name, but only convention is that here this name must be Node.js. So I will go to correct folder, which is Lambda with layer, and select layer. architecture and runtime, and then create. Layer is successfully created. Now we need to go to each function and update code as well. Also make sure to add layer. So first I will go to get function and update the new code which contains only index.html or index.mjs. Also scroll up, click on layers, it will take you to down, click add layer and select custom layer because it's our own layer which we have created. Select DynamoDB layer, and right now we have only one version. So if there is some change in the layer, we can keep updating files and it will create new version for each update. Now get should work. It says coffee shop role get coffee is not authorized to perform dynamodb.scan on resource my coffee table. Okay, so I copy pasted code from GitHub and forgot to update this thing, table name in each file. Let's update it. So for our table name is not my coffee shop, it's coffee shop, and save it. Oh, it's not copied properly. Forget post and update. If one thing we can do is, instead of updating code for instead of updating code for get coffee, I can go to configuration, environment variables, and just add environment variable here as whatever the environment variable which is being used, its table name. Let's try that. If it is available here, then it will read from process.env. Now it should work. Yeah, it's working and we are able to see the coffee details. For other functions, I will not create environment variable. I will just upload the new code. So it's update coffee. Layer also we need to configure, otherwise it will not work. Create coffee. Let's go to Postman and test all routes once. So get route. We already tested get route, it was working. Let's test get route bit ID. It is working. Now let's test post or create route. And this thing should not be there. Post. This function is also trying to read for my test coffee table. Not sure what is wrong. Let's see. Post. Something is wrong. It's I can't see. I guess these zips are not updated or something. Done. Now let's see again. Yeah, now it created successfully. Looks like that table name was not updated properly because zip file was I think I forgot to create zip file or something. Now it's working. Let's do update and update same thing C99 coffee. This time let's call hot coffee new. Coffee ID is not required. Send it here. Yeah, it updated and it's saying hot coffee new. Now if I do get, we should see this thing there. Yeah, it's there. Now let's delete it. So C99 and delete. Delete is also working. Now we will have only one coffee here, which is C123. So at this point, we have all the routes working. All Lambda are using Lambda layer, so dependencies are properly managed. And API gateway is here. Now let's set up our front-end React application to talk to API gateway. Let's create new folder named Frontend. And create new React app. Also, let's install React Router DOM. Now let's create .env file to store environment variables. And in repo, we can find this React project under frontend. And for content of .env, we can take .env.example. And here we need to update API URL. Which we can take from our API gateway and copy this invoke URL. Now in main.js file, we need to configure React Router DOM. So let's go to src main.js. So here we have two routes, app route and item details route. App route will be root route and item detail will show detail of particular coffee. Also, let's create this item details. Let's update content of item details and app.jsx. Also, let's update app.css and create utils folder for apis.js where we will keep all our get call APIs. So utils apis.js. Here we have functions to do all the API calls. And here we are reading that URL. Let's review content of app.jsx and items.jsx quickly. So in app.jsx, we are getting list of all coffees using use effect hook and storing it in coffees state. Then in render section, we are just mapping through all coffees and showing as card. And on click of this card, we are navigating to item details.jsx with that particular fee ID. Also, we have create section at top, and in item details.jsx, we are reading ID from URL parameter and then using use effect to fetch details for that particular coffee. And here we are showing details, and we have edit mode and view mode. In edit mode, we can make edit call, and also we have option for delete. And all these APIs are, all these functions are in apis.jsx or apis.js, which are making actual API call. Now let's run the application. And here I am seeing item details not found. Okay, so this file name is wrong. It should be item details. Now I'm able to see the home page, but I'm not able to see the data. Let's open network tab and refresh once. So here we can see that get coffee call is failing because of CORS error. For that, we need to modify CORS setting of our API gateway. So go to API gateway and CORS and configure. In access control, allow origin, add URL of localhost, but make sure to remove this slash from end and select add. Also, let's add content type as allowed header and methods get, post, and put, delete. Also, since it's CORS, let's allow option. Max control age is like in CORS scenario, there happens pre-flight call. So for how much duration we want to not do or we want to cache response of pre-flight call, that is specified here. But for now, let's keep it 0 because we are testing, and save it. Also, if you are not sure how CORS work, then I recommend you to check out this video on CORS. There I have shown all CORS header and how CORS settings work. For now, this is sufficient. Let's come here and refresh. Now I can see my coffee. Let's add some more coffee here. And let's add one more. Let's see if this details page is working, and delete is also working. Coming to architecture, so now we are able to call our API gateway from localhost. Now let's integrate AWS Cognito as well and secure our API gateway. So come to API gateway and authorization. Before moving forward, if you are not sure how Cognito works and how OAuth protocol works, then I recommend you to go through this video, especially these two sections. First one is this how to secure AWS API gateway using user pool, and then how authorization flow works in OAuth, and then also you can check out how to use Cognito with React single page application. Now let's move forward. So to create authorizer, we need user pool. So I will search Cognito. And select user pools, create user pool. We will create for a single page application, and let's call it coffee shop client. From user, we want email for sign in and for sign up, and return URL. For now, it is localhost 5173. Later, we will add our CDN URL and our domain name. Now it's giving us code to integrate Cognito with our application. We will come to it, but before that, let's go to API Gateway and integrate Cognito with API Gateway. So create authorizer, select JWT authorizer, and call it Cognito Coffee Shop. Everything can be left default. In issuer URL, okay, I think I need to skip this section, go to overview. And this is our issuer URL. So if I click this URL, here we have JWT keys, which will be used for verification of token. Copy it and paste only till here. And in audience, go to your user pool, go to app clients and click on coffee shop client and copy client ID. Again, all these details will be used just to verify our access token. So we have created authorizer now. Let's go to route and integrate this authorizer with all routes. First, we will attach with get route, Cognito shop, attach. Now, if I open, let's open our, is it somewhere here? Let's open our API gateway URL and append / coffee. Here I'm getting unauthorized message because now I have to pass token as well, access token as well as part of authorization header. Let's secure all routes. Now let's go to our application and integrate Cognito with our React application also. So for integrating Cognito with React, code is in this folder, Frontend with auth. And let's go back to Cognito and overview. In overview, somewhere there should be option for setup. Yeah, we have view quick setup guide, and here are the instructions. So let's install these two libraries first. OIDC client TS and React OIDC context, and these two libraries will be responsible for managing OAuth flow in our application. Stop it and install the libraries till these two are installing. Okay, these are already done, but what we need to do is we need to add these settings in our main.js. So I guess we already had till here. I will copy from here to here. We are importing auth provider from React OIDC context here. Then we have to provide configuration here. I think all values are pre-filled here, but it's better to store them in environment variable. For now, I will just keep it here. After that, I need to put my app inside auth provider. So let's just wrap from here and auth provider. So this is it for main.js. Now in app.jsx, let's see what is the code. So this library, this React OIDC context library provides us auth using use auth hook. And this auth contains if we are authenticated or is loading and all that. So what we can do, let's create one more component, call it home.jsx. And okay, I created folder. And src, let's create home.jsx, and let's copy all content of this app.jsx to home.jsx. And also let's rename home and export home. And in app.jsx, we will keep our that logic which will check if our user is authenticated or not. Let's remove from here. I guess use navigate is not required now. Even these APIs are not required. Let's copy it as it is and paste it here. Somewhere here we need to update our logout URL as well, so that logout functionality work properly. And this is the URL. Also in our Cognito user pool also we need to update it. So this quick setup guide is not required anymore. I will go to client and login pages, here edit, and in allowed callback URLs, below allowed callback URLs, I can paste this thing. Now we are done. Let's run it. So npm run dev, and let's refresh. So what is happening here is that since we are not authenticated right now, we are seeing this sign in and sign out button. Let's click on sign in, and since there is no user, let's create one user. Okay, now my account is created and I'm logged in. I can see my tokens, and this library actually stores token inside session storage like this. Let's go to our app, and instead of showing these tokens, let's show our home component, which was app component earlier. So imported home and saved it, and here we are able to see our app. But still API call for coffee is failing with unauthorized. And reason behind this is that we still have old APIs.js. So while making fetch call, it's not attaching access token to the authorization header. Let's go to GitHub and frontend with auth folder. Go to src utils apis.js and copy this apis.js and paste it here completely. Now what we are doing here is that we are putting access token in the authorization header while making API call for both, in fact, for all fetch, create, update, and delete. And how we are getting access token is that if I show get access token function, so from session storage, we are looking for key which starts with ydc.user. So as I showed here, we store in session storage, and this is the key. So we look for this key, and then we get this object. From this object, we extract access token and put it in header. Although this library provides this kind of hook to get access token, but since APIs.js is not React component, that's why we have to go with this workaround. Now let's go to our application and refresh. Now I'm seeing course error. Let's see what is the issue. Okay, so issue is that now we are sending this authorization header. Content type header we have whitelisted, but authorization header we have not whitelisted. So copy it and go to API gateway. Again, go to course setting, configure, here, add authorization header as well, and save it. Now our application will work properly. So get call is working. Let's try put call as well. Okay, put is also working, and I'm expecting that delete and update will also work. Coming back to our architecture, now we have this API section. We have our application ready, our React application ready, and both our API gateway and our React application are integrated with AWS Cognito. Now let's deploy our S3 bucket to CloudFront CDN and also expose our API gateway via CloudFront CDN. One thing is that we can only deploy S3 bucket to CDN, and from there only we can keep calling API gateway. But then it will be like calls, and each time some API call happen, there will be pre-flight call. To avoid that, we can expose using same domain name, which will be domain name of CloudFront. Also, it's optional. If you want to keep using API gateway, like using API gateway URL, that's also fine. Let's go to CloudFront and create new CDN. Before creating CloudFront, we need S3 bucket also. Let's create one S3 bucket, and this name should be globally unique across all AWS accounts. So we need something unique like my coffee shop 123. Let's call new. Keep everything default and create bucket. Looks like it's not available. Must not be in uppercase. Okay. Bucket name must not contain. Okay, bucket got created. Before we update our React folder here, let's create distribution, and then we need to update distribution URL in our React and Cognito, and then we will upload our React files. So in distribution, select our S3 bucket, my coffee 123. Origin path, we will upload our dist folder. So let's keep it /dist. And origin access, we will keep our bucket private. So I will use origin access control. And origin access control is a special kind of user that CloudFront uses to talk to S3 bucket. Let's create new origin access control. And here select sign request because we are using private bucket, and if we use this do not sign request, then it will not work. If we use sign request, then CloudFront will use OAC to create authorization header and then talk to S3 bucket. So create, and then it will tell that we have to update the policy. So yeah, after creating distribution, we will update it. And then scroll down, select do not enable WAF. SSL certificate and domain name, we will come to it later. Root object. So for React project, it's index.html. Let's put index.html and create distribution. Till distribution is getting created, let's copy the policy. So this is the bucket policy to allow CloudFront access to our bucket. And in bucket, go to permissions tab and edit the bucket policy without any change. Just copy policy from here and paste it here as it is and save it. This should be sufficient to provide access to S3 bucket for CloudFront. It's still deploying, but domain name is available. So let's update our React and Cognito code. So I mean React code and Cognito settings. So let's go to Cognito, and in login pages, let's whitelist URL of our CloudFront distribution as well, because as part of OAuth protocol, it's necessary to specify our whitelisted URLs or callback URLs. Save it. In our code also, wherever we were using localhost, since we will use now CloudFront, let's update CloudFront URL. So redirect URI here, and in app.js also for sign out, we need to update. Now let's see if distribution is up, or let's not wait for it. Let's do npm run build, and it will create dist folder for us. So I will go to GitHub, AWS Serverless, Frontend, and here we have dist folder. So go to S3 bucket and go to object tab, click on upload, and just drag and drop your dist folder here. Hit upload button, and it will take some time. It's done. Let's see our distribution is ready or not. Still it's in deploying state, but let's try if it's available. I will open in private tab and let's see. Okay, it's showing our React content. So I will open here. Let's open network tab and try to sign in. It worked. Sign in is working because we have updated setting in Cognito, but our Coffee API is failing with CORS error again. So this pre-flight happened, and then after that this call failed. And the reason behind this is that right now our bucket is in CloudFront CDN, and it's calling our API gateway through this URL. I mean URL of CloudFront, and URL of CloudFront is not allowed in our API gateway. That's why we are seeing this error. So let's configure, and although this is just intermediate step, but let's just fix it, because now we will integrate our API gateway with CDN, and this step will not require anymore. Let's refresh, and Again, I'm seeing cause error. Okay, now it's fixed. It took some time. Now I'm able to see my coffee. Now, what we can do, let's create one more behavior in CloudFront to route all /coffee routes to API gateway. So if I go to my distribution, in origins, I can see there is one origin which is my S3 bucket, and I'm pointing to this folder of it. Let's create one more origin, and this time we will use API gateway, but for some reason it's loading. Okay, it's showing. So select coffee shop API gateway, and everything else can be left as it is, and create origin. So at this point, we have two origins for CloudFront distribution, but we need to configure behavior for this API gateway. So I will go to behavior tab, and right now there is default behavior which is pointing to S3 bucket always. Let's create one more behavior, and we need to pass regex pattern. So I want all routes which have coffee in it, and after that whatever is there, send them to API gateway origin. Compress object automatically, yes. Redirect HTTP to HTTPS, and here cache settings. So let's leave it default. Also, let's go to our code in .env file. Now we can update it to our CloudFront URL, because it will be like CloudFront URL /coffee/coffee ID. So update it. Again, build the React. Go to S3 bucket. Upload again. So it will just overwrite previous files. No need to delete them. And this content is cached in CloudFront CDN. So every time we update files in S3 bucket, we need to invalidate previous cached files so that it can get new files again. So we have started an invalidation, and also the behavior which we created, that is still deploying. So let's wait for that, or we can check it if it's working or not. So it's like /coffee/ okay, this much only. Okay, here is showing deploying, but okay, it's deployed also. And here I can see I'm getting unauthorized message since access token is missing, but my application will pass access token and it should work. Let's refresh here as well. Looks like it made coffee call. Let's check post call as well. So 678. And add coffee. It worked. Let's test delete also. Okay, now our app is working. Let's test sign out as well. And it worked. Sign in. Yeah, it's working. So now we have our application set up according to this architecture. We have APIs using API gateway. API gateway is exposed using CloudFront, and React is also hosted on CloudFront. Now let's see how we can use our own domain name instead of CloudFront URL like this. So first of all, you must have a domain name. You can purchase it using Namecheap or Google or Cloudflare. So I have domain name using Cloudflare, so I will open it. Then go to DNS settings of your domain name provider, and you should be able to see some A records and C name records there. I will delete existing one. So right now I do not have any record here. Let's go to distribution, and suppose I want my domain quantaspot.com. So I want www.quantaspot.com to point to this CloudFront distribution. So what we can do is add record and create CNAME record, because we are going to specify URL. If it was IP address, then we need to use a record. Also for Cloudflare, I will disable the proxy and save it. Now, if I go here and open www.quantaspot.com, it might Quanta looks like Ian is missing. Okay, so it might appear that quantaspot.com will open because I'm pointing my domain to CloudFront distribution, but it's only one way. We have to configure from CloudFront site as well. Let's go to CloudFront, and here we have alternate domains. Let's edit it and add our domain name. So I will copy it and paste it here, just this much. And then we can't just save it. If I save, then I will see error that SSL certificate is missing, trusted certificate is required. For that, we need to use Amazon Certificate Manager. So here in custom SSL certificates, if I see right now I do not have any ECM certificate, I will click on request certificate and it will open certificate manager page. I want to request a public certificate, and here I have to enter domain name. So I can enter like www.mydomainname.com. Else if I want, I can order a wildcard domain name like star.quanta.spot.com, and it will allow me to have any subdomain available with CloudFront. But for now, I will just request for www. And in validation, either I can select email validation or DNS validation. Let's keep it DNS validation and request. Now we have to verify that indeed we own this domain. So let's wait for these records to appear and then update them in our Cloudflare dashboard. So copy CNAME and CNAME value, go to Cloudflare dashboard and add one more CNAME record. CNAME this one and CNAME value this one. Disable the proxy and save it. Now, to check if these values are updated or not, we can use what's my DNS. This is a service which tells our DNS configuration. So I will search for quantaspot.com. A records, there are nothing. Let's search for CNAME, and looks like it's not giving any CNAME as well. Let's try www. Okay, for www it's giving. Similarly, this one also, if I copy, it will show me the value. Okay, dot from end, and yeah, it's showing value. Means at most places value is reflected. After maybe around 5 minutes, this pending validation will turn into validated. Let's go to certificate and Okay, it's validated. I said validated, but it will appear as issued. And if I see here, this certificate is issued for my domain name, but it's not eligible for renewal. I will tell how to make it eligible for renewal. For now, let's go back to our CDN settings, and now I can see that contestpod.com certificate is available, www. And make sure to do not select this option because it will cost a lot of money. Now I can save it, but before I save, make sure to use same domain name for which you have issued certificate. Suppose if I want new.contestpod.com, then it will not work. It will give me error like this because the certificate do not covers new.contestpod.com. Save it, and now once the certificate is attached to that distribution, this option should turn to eligible automatically, so no action is required here as well. Let's go back to our Chrome browser and again hit www.contestpod.com. You might think that www is not here, but it's here. Actually, it's just not visible. And hit it. It's working, but something will break. Let's see what is breaking. Many things are breaking, looks like. First thing is that our domain name is updated, so we should update here as well. Let's copy our domain name and update all places where it should be updated. So now our URL will be this URL instead of CloudFront URL. In main.jsx, let's copy this thing without slash at end. Okay, for some reason it's HTTP. It should be HTTP, yes. Looks like in my distribution settings, I have not made sure that it redirects. So if I go to origin, origin for my S3 bucket, edit it. Here in somewhere in settings, that option should be there. Under default behavior, maybe. Yeah, here I should have done redirect HTTP to HTTPS for all routes or all request. Now if I see, if I request, even if I request HTTP, it will redirect me to HTTPS. Okay, it's not happening. Let's try in incognito. Here it's working. So if I do HTTP, it will send me to HTTPS automatically. And copy HTTPS here and update in our code. HTTPS without slash, save it, .env is saved in main.js, x update in app.jsx for sign out also. Let's update for client. This is it. Let's build it and upload. Go to S3 bucket, upload, and drag and drop dist folder, upload it. Go to distributions and create new invalidation for all files. Also go to Cognito and edit the setting to allow our domain name, which is this thing. Now we can remove this CloudFront URL. It's not required anymore. Let's remove it. and save changes. HTTPS is required over HTTP. Okay, HTTPS. Then probably here. Okay, here it's fine. HTTPS. Here also. Wait. Looks like at some places I kept HTTP and at some places I kept HTTPS. So in app.js it's HTTPS. In main.js also it's correct. In env it's wrong. Not sure how it became HTTP. Let's upload again. And in distribution, again, let's invalidate it. Now, let me enable network tab and try to log in. So, sign is working. Let's enter our credentials. Wait. After logging, it redirected me to home page and I'm able to see the content. Let's try edit route. Let's try edit option this time. Test 1, 2, 3. I will call it filter coffee and save it. Let's change this only. Save it. And I forgot to add button for home page, so I have to do manually. But yeah, filter coffee is here. Okay, I renamed it. So new coffee renamed to filter coffee. So now our application setup is done. Everything is working. We created APIs integrated with CloudFront and also added our own domain name. Now let's do the resource cleanup. So once you are done and want to delete all resources, start with your distribution. So you can't delete it directly. You have to disable it first. I will disable this one as well. And then it will take some time to get disabled. Then we can delete it. And till that, I will go to API gateway and delete coffee shop API gateway. Then go to Lambda function and also IAM role. So select all 4 Lambda functions and action, delete, and convert. Now go to IAM and delete the coffee role. Sometimes it asks to confirm, sometimes it asks to enter name of entity. Now let's go to our S3 bucket and delete it. So if I go to S3 and select and try to delete it, it will not let me delete. It will ask me to empty bucket first. So follow the instructions and empty the bucket. Once bucket is empty, go back to S3 and now this can be deleted. Now let's go to Cognito user pool and delete it as well. So user pools and delete it. Let's see what else is remaining. DynamoDB. viewer pool S3 bucket. Distributions are disabled. Let's okay, still not disabled. Let's see what else is remaining. We deleted API gateway, Cognito. I guess everything is deleted. This certificate is remaining, but I can't delete until I do not delete distribution. So let's wait for it. So now for my distribution, status is changed to last modified from deploying, so I can delete it. And CDN is also deleted, so I should be able to delete domain name as well. Again, it changed to ineligible because it's not in use. With this, we have deleted all AWS resources. Also, make sure to go to your domain name provider and delete those two CNAME records. And this is it for this video. Hope you find this insightful and helpful. Let me know if there are any doubts in the comment section. Thanks.